Kelsey Plum clarifies controversial 2025 WNBA All-Star Game comment about Caitlin Clark, a really bad joke. All-Star Weekend for the WNBA is a time to rejoice about the talent, unity, and future of women's basketball. Los Angeles Sparks guard Kelsey Plum, however, was the exception to the rule as an innocent offhand comment she made in the aftermath of the 2025 showcase in Indianapolis resulted in a month-long saga involving one of the league's rising stars, Caitlin Clark. So now, almost a month after the fact, Plum is clearing it all up. Per an appearance on Sue Bird's Bird's Eye View podcast, which hit Friday, the ex-Washington Husky and No. It happened on July 19, during the All-Star Game after her Team Nafisa Collier win over Team Caitlin Clark. Dozens of players wore, "Pay Us What You Owe Us," warm-up shirts in unison before the contest in a gesture tied to ongoing collective bargaining negotiations with the league over fair compensation. In the post-game press conference, recognizing the context of her own T-shirts, Plum explained its meaning and stated, "The T-shirt, Just United Front was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for. And, not to snitch but none of Team Clark were even here for that." "Wow, needed to hear that one," responded Sabrina Ionescu of the New York Liberty, who was on Clark's team. Plum said with a chuckle, "I understand I am making light of that situation, okay? But I think it was more we just needed to get on the same page before the game." Deciding to take a slightly different route, Calvillo answered the question fairly quickly but wanted to mention one of his favorite moments as well. Most likely Calvillo is referring to this sad-face 49ers vs Bucks 2010-one of many. "Calvillo, it was nice. I thought that was a powerful moment and got the point across." Matter said, but the internet was not having none of that crap. Many of those comments read Plum's words as a cheap shot at the Fever rookie, and before long social media conversations concerning Clark versus Plum erupted with fervor. Bird asked Plum if she paid attention to the backlash, and the veteran guard did not hesitate in acknowledging she was wrong. "Oh, I made a bad joke. Yeah, I made a real bad joke. Tough one," Plum confessed. And she dropped an important nugget: she had been partying a little bit after the victory, and that might have influenced her behavior at the presser. "Yeah, no, well, I had a couple drinks before, I will not lie," she said. "And I should have, hindsight is 20/20, from the shirts, from the fans. I should have known that it was more than just an average All-Star game. I gained that press conference very happy-go-lucky, like we won, you know." Plum made it clear that her comment was not meant to slander Clark or any of the other Fever players. Rather, she was trying to inject some humor into an otherwise somber moment of player rights and fair pay. Almost, but her humor fell flat. "It's tough, because when things go viral, those words get so twisted and it turns into something that it wasn't," Plum said. "Plus, if you stand up and fight back, then you appear defensive. So sometimes, you just have to walk away." At the moment, it does not appear that this incident will create any conflict between Plum and Clark. The clarification might not be satisfactory to all of Clark's fan base who was interested in the drama, but at least it answers with a solid no. It is indeed not the case of personal being made against him. Plum, who became known for her competitive fire and outspoken persona, has begun to redirect her efforts towards basketball again and the overall fight for equality within the league as a whole. Clark is still on the road to recovery as she waits to return back to Indiana Fever. That really bad joke probably cast a pall on what should have been an epic All-Star weekend, but Plum's candid take on it appears to indicate she was ready to address that and just move on.